I've always helped people remember who they are and feel into their power, feel into what their gifts and their skills are. I've really helped people let go of what no longer serves them and transform that into fuel for their mastery, for them to shift their life into the positive. The magic happens when you can hear your heart sing. Literally hear your heart sing. I just want you to know you were born for this, that you have everything you need to really do you this lifetime. So let's get started. Let's make magic together. Thanks to all my wonderful friends, my miracle maker friends. I am so excited to see all of you. I am Joan of Angels. I'm your host and your guide. I am an intuitive guide whose job this life is to help you remember why you're here, your purpose, and to actually help you get started on your job, on your mission, really. And all weekend, I've been at a conference, a psychic fair, actually, doing readings for people and really diving into how so many people, number one, don't feel like they belong here. And then we have to really kind of decode what that means, decipher why you came, what your mission is, what your purpose is, and why you're here. So go check out the website, joanofangels.com, and get your free ebook. That would be wonderful. Meanwhile, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. So guys, I am up in Mount Shasta. I'm still up here in Mount Shasta. I've been here for almost a month. The 14th is a month when I put all my stuff in storage and I began this great unveiling or this great journey. God knows where I'm going because, I'm just trusting source and spirit. And so I'm really excited to have direction and clarity. It's been a really great journey and I'll keep sharing. When you sign up, I do share it on the emails now, but I just want you all to know that we are here for a reason. And when you know that reason, you will actually feel like you've stepped into your power. So tonight, guys, we have the full moon rising, and we actually have the moon powered astrologer. She's renowned for her readings about how to handle the moon, how your sign will deal with the moon, and how the moon impacts us, and especially during these full moon risings. And so we have her here on our show once a month for the full moon. And so I'm really happy to introduce Claudia Thompson. So we're going to bring her in. Whoa, hello, Claudia.
Hi, Joan. It's so good to see you.
I know it's
Yeah.
amazing to see you. Especially, I got to see the full moon last night on the top of Mount Shasta.
Wow.
And I can tell you it was quite superb. We drove up to the very top. We did an Egyptian activation lower down and then went up to the top. I had never been up there. And I was so blown away to see this vast expanse and to feel the giants in the mountains. All the mountains, you can literally see giants in them. And then this full moon, that was the fattest I have ever seen. And people were playing drums and chanting and calling in the full moon. And it was quite lovely. So I just wanted to share that. So, Claudia, how have you been and what kind of news do you have for us about how to deal with these new moon energies?
Well, this is a full moon, not
I
a
meant
new
the
moon.
full moon.
And the heart, it's interesting because we're done with our super full moons, but the harvest full moon is always super. It's always big and gold and amazing. And we really feel the culmination of energy that it represents. And this one took us back to the 23rd of February. And the reason for that is because that's when the moon was new in Pisces. So, and as you know, Joan, this is a very special full moon for you every year. It's a power point. Because when your sun, so those of you who have your sun in Pisces or your moon in Pisces, this is an especially relevant moon. And also just mutable energy. We've got a lot of mutable energy going on right now. Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and Sagittarius are all mutable signs. And we've got planets in Gemini and Virgo and Pisces. So this, I always look at the Virgo cycle, which is what we're in, and it began 2 weeks ago, as a cycle of practical magic. Virgo is the practical one of the zodiac, and Pisces is the one that walks between heaven and earth. If you look at the glyph for Pisces, it kind of looks like an H, but it's really two curved, like crescent moons facing each other with a bar in between. And the challenge for Pisces energy is always to bring those two together within themselves. And so wherever you have Pisces at 17 degrees and 41 minutes in your chart, that's the area that's really culminating now. And that's the area where you want to make a wish. So we had Mercury move in retrograde motion. It's actually still in its stationing mode, so it's very powerful. We're really feeling that energy moving internally. And that reminds us that the more we can bring a higher consciousness into our mind and make our mind a master and make that long distance journey from the head, because the Virgo sun is ruled by Mercury, it's giving the light to the full moon, and Pisces, the heart. So make that long distance journey, just drop into your heart every chance you get and breathe in and out of your heart and stop all the thinkety think, because with all this mutable energy, it means that you can be very scattered. And so the last full moon, when Joan and I were together, I talked about the fact that it was the full moon that talked about the culmination of your vision. It was an Aquarius full moon. And that it was very, very important with Mars moving into Gemini, where the mantra is variety is the spice of life, to have your vision and your values, which we're all really looking at what's true for us. What do we really value? Is it that if we have enough, we are enough? Or do we really know that we are enough and therefore we will always have enough? And so if you have your values in hand, then you align your vision with your values and the values that you see the new worldview being based on. And then your vision determines your decisions. So you want to have that in hand so that you can always go back to that focal point. There may have been, we had rain in the desert, and we've had rain all around for a long time, but the area I live in has been like an oasis of sunlight in the middle of all of it. And this full moon, you might have noticed where you are that there were crystals. There was a ring of color around the full moon, which indicates rain. And we had rain. So I didn't see the harvest full moon, but I still went out and I welcomed the energies in.
That's pretty funny. I did see a big radiance around the moon, but there was no color whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, that's ice crystals.
Oh, those were ice crystals. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, nevertheless, that moon took my breath away. I think partly because I was up in the magic of Mount Shasta and watching it come up on the horizon, and in a really kind of powerful way. So you're saying that if you're Pisces, but doesn't this full moon impact every sign?
No, every one of us is whole, perfect, and complete. You have every sign in your chart. And so, look for the Virgo Pisces axis in your chart. One of the things that's really important to note about those two signs is it's the health axis. So at this time of year, we really look at our daily regimen and the details. It said that the divine is in the details, and Pisces is very much about being in touch with the divine. And so as you remember to stay connected, you want to make sure that your daily regimen has time for spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. Some people just go out and run their buns off, but they're not meditating or connecting. They're not, they're not aware of where they are with each footfall. And Pisces rules the feet. So it reminds you, there's no accident that the bottoms of our feet are called the soles of the feet. It's like a soul connection between us and the earth, really bringing the heavens down through our crown chakra, right down to ground it in the earth. And being grounded at this particular time from now, October, November, we ain't seen nothing yet, kids. October, November, we're building to a crescendo. And we've got a lot of the chart has a lot of really busy energy. It's a busy, busy time. And I'll be talking on Monday about the retrogrades on my show on Spirituality Gone Wild. I'll tune into the moon. It'll be on Facebook Live, actually. But because the retrogrades, we've got a lot of planets in retrograde motion, and now Mercury joins the retrograde parade. And so this is usually one of the fastest moons of manifestation of the year. And this one takes us back to April 12th. So I hope whoever's listening here, if you're not journaling, begin to journal, because you want to live your life deliberately. You want to really note where you are and all the shifts in consciousness that you're making during this time. And also, writing is a form of instant manifestation, and you can move yourself into a positive space right away. You can write out your negativity, see where it is, and shift that. We're in a time where shift can happen so quick. And it all begins in consciousness. So when you have all of these retrogrades, it means that this energy is internalized. So right now, communication is internalized. Pisces is very, very intuitive. It's highly emotionally sensitive energy. It is ruled by Neptune, and that is the energy of the empath. So this full moon really reminds us that if you want magic in your life, do not allow the input of information that is not aligned with your vision of what you want to see in this time of change. Because with Mars in Gemini, Gemini rules the media. We're going to see the media ramp up their programming like you've never seen before. From conspiracy theories to, really be clear about what you know to be true.
Speak about this before. So you're saying, kind of lay this out for us then.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk about Mars for a second, and then I'm going to go right back to the full moon, because Mars is in a square by sign to this full moon. It reminds us to be flexible, to be adaptable, but also to breathe, move into our hearts, and maintain a focus on the world that we want to see. And Mars is doing something really interesting this year. It began to slow down in June. It slowed down 1 degree in June, a couple degrees in July, 2 or 3 in August. In September, it'll slow down about 4 degrees. Slow down, not move backwards yet. But in October, Halloween, it will move in retrograde motion. So normally Mars, wherever Mars goes, energy flows. It's our go juice. It's that will that says, do it now, make it happen, that warrior energy that moves us forward. But we're going to have Mars moving, rather than 7 weeks through a sign, 7 months. So we are really being told to do the internal work. You may find that your manifestation for some things seems a bit delayed. Like I mentioned in the last full moon talk, breakthrough, stop sign, breakthrough, stop sign. So patience is called for. That's why the need to be adaptable, and the need to remember that we are not just shifting our New Year's resolutions for 2022. We're shifting the human form from carbon to crystalline for all time. And so we've got the photon belt. We've got all of these things going on. I was listening to Pam Gregory, who listens to Kelly Hunter, and this is about the dwarf planets. And one of the planets that's associated in aspect with this full moon is called Salacia. Well, I love this because Salacia is mermaid energy. And Pisces, to me, is all about, that's a great symbol for Pisces, is the mermaid. And so Salacia reminds us of the light, the liquid light that comes through water, which is what we are mostly made of, water. So we're still moving through the photon belt. We've got these amazing coronal mass ejections going on. Light, light, light. So all the cobwebs, all the dust bunnies in our psyche, so to speak, are being moved out of the way by light. And at the time of this full moon, magic, which is always afoot with the Pisces full moon, always. Magic is really afoot because Neptune, I mentioned before, the ruler of Pisces, is united with this full moon, with the moon. And Neptune goes around once every 160 some odd years. So it's a really golden time for us to be alive. And Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, which is now in the opposite sign of Virgo. And so Venus is the like the earthly octave of love, so to speak. It's Venus is like Earth's sister. Neptune is that higher octave where we slip the surly bonds of personality and ego and earth, and we unite with the divine. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. And at this time of year, when the Virgo new moon happens, we enter harvest time. And so on April 12th, the two co-rulers of Pisces united. Very unusual because Jupiter goes through a sign once a year, Neptune every 160 some odd years. So for those two to come together and unite like that was really a gift, beautiful gift. And it gave us the opportunity and the message to dream bigger than we've ever dreamed. So now this is a checkpoint. How's that dream coming? Are you walking your dream? Are you having the patience to hold on to it? Are you connecting every day so that that higher voice is really strong in you? Mercury retrograde always helps us with that. So as you move forward with Neptune, the image that kept coming to me, Joan, through the whole time I was thinking about this full moon was the Magician card. And I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with the Magician card, but you might Google it if you're not. And I'm talking about the traditional Rider deck or Aquarian deck Magician card. Because
and what reminds you of that card?
The Magician it's the first card. First of all, it's the one. 0 is the Fool, but 1 is the Magician. So it's a major arcana, which means the divine is definitely in play as far as the guidance. But the Magician has all of the tools, all of the elements for alchemy on a table before him. And over his head is what's called a Lumnoscot, which is the infinity sign, like a figure 8 on its side above his head. So infinite possibilities. And one hand is up toward the heavens and the other is down toward the elements on the table. And when we get the lead out, so to speak, the lead of negativity, the lead of being too personality oriented rather than knowing that our personality is a vehicle for spirit. When we move that out of the way, magic occurs. And right now it's the magic of infinite possibilities. So Virgo reminds you, the Virgo sun lighting up this full moon says, what do you need to pay attention to as your priorities to bring this big dream into consciousness, into your consciousness, because that's where it all begins. And then what are the details that are the important ones? So you don't get lost in all the trees and forget about your bigger picture, the forest. And then Pisces says, and you don't have to struggle because it's all a divine design that was given to you before you even entered this earth plane at this time. You know, it's just about moving the static, so to speak, out of the way. And that's why it's so, so important. Be creative. This is the poet of the zodiac, but allow your imagination to work. You know, let yourself play and look at the variety of opportunities that might be coming your way. But remember what your dream feels like. Pisces is a water sign. It's about the realm of feelings, and facts don't create. You know, our world bombards us with facts, facts, facts. And you know what that does? It keeps us stuck because facts don't create, feelings create.
Right.
So it's like living the dream, you know, walking the talk until it becomes real in your life. You know, and you to me, Joan, are a living example of how it's becoming real. And sometimes we're freed from a situation that is challenging and it feels like we're being catapulted, but actually it's a necessary thing to move us forward. So I'm finding many of my friends that have spiritual assignments now are living more nomadically, so to speak. You know, just knowing they're taken care of and they're experiencing prosperity when they release that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know, kind of interesting because I'm at a psychic fair today. I was doing readings and I met this woman who's very spiritual and she lives in the park. She says there's a whole group of us spiritual beings who live in the park, but we don't have homes. We prefer, she has a job and everything. It's in her car, but I think you're right. People are definitely getting this new energy to let go, release, be more flexible and free, for sure.
But when you think about what the Native Americans that were here, that seeded the energy of this country originally, and just the indigenous people around the world, they were nomadic. Until we, which is a form of ownership, until we got into ownership, which is a big form of control, controls our energy, because all the things you own have a cord of energy to them. So that's why it's important that you only have the things that you truly cherish, that inspire you. That's a big word for Pisces energy, inspire. You want daily inspiration and things that cause your imagination to soar.
Right.
But if you have a lot of extraneous stuff around you, or you're hanging on to a lot of stuff, you can find that really limits your movement, your ability to move about. And right now, most people are being called by spirit. So remember that enlightenment means lightening up. So the health aspect of Pisces, since this is a culmination point taking us back to that new moon, it asks you how your inner ocean is, which is the lymph system. Are you moving? I know that it's been a hot summer, but are you doing some kind of movement? Dancing is so perfect for Pisces. Putting some music that gets your, that stirs your soul, and just dancing around in your house and getting the lymph moving. And then the third eye is also on a Neptunian Piscean. And then the feet. So, bringing that light down, all the way down, grounding it in the earth, and knowing that that's what you are. You're light, you're love. Don't, we're being asked to be really, really vigilant about what we allow into our atmosphere at this time. I was listening to someone today who said that they don't go to the grocery store anymore. They have all their food delivered. And this is someone who's doing wonderful spiritual work. And they just they're too sensitive to, they're high sensitive. And so that empathic energy, it takes, they don't want to take the 24 to 48 hours to clear, to get all of that out, to do their work.
Go out in the world, you can come home with all of those other energies. If someone had a fight in the supermarket, you can pick it up and not even know it. So that is interesting. So people who are staying at home just so they don't have to feel those outside energies now.
Yeah, and then also looking at community. Community is a wonderful word. Unity. It's about unity. And if we are all recognizing that everyone that seems separate from us is actually another element of love on our journey, what happens is we come into unity. So it's an interesting dance that we do between like-minded people, which is such a high. Everybody knows that, how it feels to be with like-minded people, and people who are not doing so well, who are struggling. So that's where the compassion side comes in of a Pisces and of water all together. But not letting toxicity, and that's the downside of Pisces, toxicity, victimhood, or suffering come in to pollute your field. So it doesn't mean that you ignore don't have any compassion for the suffering of the world. No, we're very aware of it, but don't live there. Rise. And life's a roller coaster, so we all go up and down every day. And the main thing is to just use your tools to rise, to know that you're rising to your higher self, to your crystalline being, to the frequency of love, 528 hertz, love and above.
So with this full moon, you don't have to be Pisces to get the benefit from it.
No. And I'll tell you about an experience I had years ago, Joan. I was living in Atlanta, and I had left a career in the movie industry. And I moved 12 times in 1 year with 2 cats. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just kept moving. I could not land. And So I went to a full moon ceremony with one of my teachers. And I always say that new moons are for setting intentions and full moons are for wishing. So she had us open our hearts. So, drop into your heart, stand in front of the full moon, the location if you can't see it, and welcome that light fully into yourself. And know that the light of Isis, the goddess of 10,000 faces, all that power is entering your body, that creatrix power. Welcome that in and make your wish. Now, the process with making a wish, you look at what you want to release that might get in the way of your wish. And your wish is simple and concise. Write it down, do a brain dump and look at what might get in the way. The feelings, the old programs, the habits and patterns, whatever it is. Write all that down and then burn it. And as you burn it, you don't make a copy of it, you burn it because you want it to go back to its native nothingness right out of your atmosphere. So you burn it. And as the smoke rises, just know that it's like it's moving through your cells, taking everything that you're releasing right out of your existence. Then you take your wish, you welcome this harvest full moon into your heart. Welcome the harvest of love, the harvest of your dreams, the harvest of magic in your life, and feel what it feels like in your heart and then your whole being. Feel the pink light of self-love move through your whole being, from your heart up, down, sideways, all around, and feel what it feels like to have that wish come true right now. And I actually, my wish, I was really at a place where I was right up against the wall. And I said, okay, I says, either I get a place to live or I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. And the next day I had 3 offers of places to live. So this is very magical energy. And Neptune wasn't right next to the full moon at that time like it is now. So just remember that when you're in that frequency, which you can drop into any time you feel like you're getting waylaid or off track, drop into that energy and feel that feeling. And you'll literally be creating a magnetic field, a frequency that attracts all the steps you need, the path you need to take, all of that. And as I said, remember, we've got several planets. Let me see, Mercury. Mars will be retrograde. It's not retrograde yet, but everything beyond that, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all retrograde right now. So that's telling us that we're magical. It begins inside. It begins in our consciousness, and we are creators. So the shift, it's like we're the creators. The world is not creating us. We're creating the world through our perspective and our consciousness every day, just like the magician. Just see yourself, with your own magic wand, which is your feelings, your ability to get to that frequency.
So you're saying that with this full moon, we have the ability to dream and paint a new vision and hold those dreams in such a way that we can manifest them into reality.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have our work cut out for us.
And it's about, the Piscean ability to bring heaven to earth within each of us. Mm-hmm. So that's why divine discontent, addiction, be very, very careful of substances at this time, because they will be much stronger. Their effect will be much stronger. So just be aware of that. And, be aware, whatever you do, if you do a substance in a sacred way, be sure to honor that, to be in ritual space, to be in honoring, so that you don't go the other way. Because this is a culmination point, relationships are culminating too, and Mercury is retrograde in Libra. So we're reviewing, are our partners on this journey, or the people who are on our team, or who we are relating to, are we finding win-win solutions? Are these like-minded souls? Is this a balanced relationship, a harmonious relationship? Are fairness and justice part of the equation? Or are we just not on the same track? Because one of the challenges with both Libra, Mercury begins to retrograde in Libra, and Pisces is boundarylessness. Mm-hmm. Having a challenge with boundaries, stating who you are, knowing what you need and want, and stating it with love, gently, but being aware of it, being clear and open and authentic with it in your relationships, and knowing with Mars in Gemini that every word you say, every thought you think has energy. It has energy, frequency, and vibration. And when you put it out there, it determines your reality. That's how powerful we all are. We've been in a deep sleep for a long time. And now we're waking up. And sometimes it's a big kick in the butt. So watch out for the rose-colored glasses syndrome. That's the downside of Pisces. Deceit, illusion, betrayal. But the high side is that open-hearted, just love, just knowing that that's what we are, and that joy is the clearest evidence of the presence of spirit. So, get high on life.
That's the message for this full moon, huh? So the bottom line message we want to leave everyone with is this is your time to dream your vision, your dream into reality.
We'll check in with your dream. The thing is, the dream that you created in the depth of the winter now, and in spring, the dream that you took action on as spring was born, now you're looking at where you are with that. How far have you come?
All right.
And maybe you're going to be tweaking the dream as you review, and that's okay. That's good, because that's what this time from now through the beginning of next year, we are in a time where the plans will start to move direct bit by bit, but they'll be in shadow. So it's a time of introspection. It's like, mind your consciousness. Don't be into fixing everybody else, or giving up your dream for somebody else. Stand in your power.
That's so important. Don't give up your dream for someone else. And don't live someone else's life.
No.
Give up your own life and live someone else's life. Very, very interesting, Claudia. So I've been on the road for almost a month, and Mercury retrograde, started yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And now the computer's missing.
That's
an interesting time.
Well, and it's harvest time. That's the main thing to remember. Virgo says, organize your harvest. Cut the wheat from the chaff. Get that which blocks your ability to be efficient out. That which keeps you from being able to focus on your priorities. From your environment, physical, Virgo is an earth sign, to your internal environment. Mm-hmm. And then Pisces says, okay, so now harvest the magic. Harvest your progress on your dream. Right. Harvest the love. Harvest your connection with the divine. You're unique by divine design. And when I read for people, I do talk a lot about the moon. That's my doorway, but it's also the way you're wired. I mean, where all the planets are, you are a universe. You're encoded with a divine design that's unique to you. That's why you can't do somebody else's dream. You can be aligned with somebody else's dream. I don't mean that, but giving up your dream, like Joan said, for somebody else.
That's not going to work. Okay. So how should we be during this time of this full moon and Mercury retrograde? What's the best way to go into this?
Well, reflective, for one thing. Be reflective. Allow yourself time to reflect. Keep either something, digital where you can record, or, a piece of paper handy. Have something to write on by your bed, because information is going to come through your dreams. Dreams are extremely powerful, waking and sleeping. And a trick that you can use with your dreams, if you're sitting there right now listening to me going, yeah, well, I never remember my dreams. But if you put just a little bit of water in a glass beside your bed, before you go to sleep, drink a couple swallows and tell yourself, When I wake, I will remember my dream. And then when you wake up, you drink the rest of the glass of water, you grab that paper right away, and you write down your dream. It won't be linear. Don't
Mm-hmm.
expect it to make sense because you're beyond time and space when you're in dream time.
Right.
The boundaries cease to be. But with Neptune in Pisces, it's been there for a decade. It'll be there for about 4 more years. This is a time like no other to work with your dreams, to remember them, to listen to them, to receive the messages that are in your dreams. It may just be people passing through. It may not, like I said, it may not make sense at all. But sometimes people or themes get repeated. It's like they keep repeating. So, you just spend a few minutes doing that in the morning and then let it go. Don't overanalyze. That's the downside of Virgo, analysis paralysis, figuring life out instead of living it.
Mm-hmm.
So just, remember, you're the magician and you're harvesting. This is a harvest of magic. It's a time to make a wish. It's a time to really look at how you use your imagination, how you create. This is an extremely creative full moon. So use some, allow yourself to have some time to kick back. And not for nothing, Pisces, because it rules illusion, it also has to do with the movie industry. So if you go to a movie during this time, make sure it's an uplifting, expansive one. Not, sometimes people go and watch scary and horror and all of this because they want to feel stimulated.
Now,
It's like let the divine stimulate you.
I cannot stand scary movies anymore.
Me either, Joan.
And I either shut off the sound or I fast forwarded to the end. I don't want anything that scares the living daylights out of me anymore. And I don't need that to wake up. I don't like anything that brings a sense of panic or
Me
chaos
either.
or somehow I'm not enough. All right. Well, Claudia, this has been very, very interesting deep dive. I love what you've had to say. Is there anything else you want us to know?
No, just to remember that we're turning from carbon to crystalline. I mean, that's what's happening. And crystals are piezoelectric. So everything that comes at you, remember this is very empathic full moon, is it's like encoded. So like in a crystal, like when you program a crystal. So you have the ability to live your dream and walk your vision. Actually, it's imperative. All of you who are listening, because you're like transformers in this time. You're the carriers of this new consciousness. Mm-hmm. So really, fun, play, all those things are really, really important because it's a serious time. It feels very serious, but you're all light workers. So know that you're being bombarded with light. You might need more rest, some reflection, some meditation, and just really ramp up the joy in your life. That benefits you and everybody else. Joy and love, joy, peace, all those high things that we've heard about, for real. You will be benefiting the world in ways you can't even imagine.
Joy turns on your body's healing power. Yes, and it really does. I spoke about it yesterday, the happiness factor.
I
All right.
love that.
I just thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Joan. Thank
Have
you.
fun for next time, next full moon. The good news about the moon is that every month we have a new full moon. So we'll set you up for next month's the full moon, Claudia. All right.
Yeah, that one will be in Aries. So we'll be rolling over what's happened in our harvest, looking at how we can share it and what we want to pioneer, what we have pioneered this year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And out of the Mercury retrograde, so that'll be good too.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
This is a great time to really allow yourself to review and reflect so that you don't get, because there's going to be a lot of frustration and anger in some people and just in the world in general, because we are in, the game is completely shifting and we're part of that. So yeah, so just really, work your stuff, work your light, work your magic, harvest your happiness.
Harvest your happiness, plant your seeds. Well, that we planted it last month, but harvest it, dream big, right? Dream your biggest visions, dream that which is going to be soul satisfying for everyone, right, Claudia?
Yeah. And you can, if you want to reach me at Moon Powered Astrology, that's my Facebook, that's my Instagram. YouTube is Claudia Thompson, Moon Powered Astrologer. But yeah, I tune you into the moon every Monday, and I'll also be talking about the retrogrades at 10 a.m. Pacific on Facebook Live this Monday. So, I'd love it if you join me for that.
Is that also live on your YouTube channel?
Not at the present time, because you know me, Joan, I'm learning tech because my tech assistant has taken a month off. And so I'm doing Facebook Live, and there may be a way I can put it on YouTube. I just have to learn that, Google it and look at it.
Gone wild. Okay. So it's very, very easy, love. Just reach out to me. I'll explain to you how to do it. You can always take videos and upload them onto your YouTube channel.
Great.
All right, guys, you've been listening to Claudia Thompson, Moon Powered Astrologer. I'm your host, Joan of Angels. I'm your intuitive guide to help you remember why you're here, your soul purpose, your mission, and help you step into the miraculous, help you step out of this 3D world and really leverage and work with your higher dimensional frequencies and help you raise your vibration. And guys, I love you very, very much. Some of you know my Miracle Monday. I want you to know that if you loved Miracle Monday, send me an email at joan@joanofangels.com and just let me know what you love about that show, because I am in transition, as we're all saying, and just looking to see how I want to bring that out again. And meanwhile, I thank Sam, I thank Koala Mama, and everyone else who has listened to today's show. Please share it out so that we get more traction and growth. Listen, people like Claudia, all of you should, the whole world should be able to hear Claudia. And you should too, and help share this out. So I love you all. Really look forward to seeing you soon, and have a blessed and beautiful time until we're together again. Bye for now. I've always